FNL Vintage. Retro runway footage. Resurfaced interviews. And style archives. Revisit iconic collections. And celebrities. Of fashion seasons past.
I'm backstage with Brian Bradley, the designer for Tula. I want you to tell me all about the collection. Color palette, inspiration, everything.
You just saw it.
I know, I thought it was amazing and beautiful. I love the fabrics, I love the feel and the attitude.
Color-wise, it's we do a lot of our own dyeing at Tula, sometimes the night before the show. So that's why it looks different than most people's. I know, right? And or something. What else do you want to know?
The inspiration.
The inspiration. The inspiration was just basically optimism, like a sort of the thought that we could look at everything, but fashion in particular, in a different, less cynical way.
And Brad, what would define the Tula woman? The woman that the brand, the name.
Yeah, I know this is not like a brand building answer, but the definition of that woman for me is that she's every woman. The whole point of the line or the company was to let women be one thing one day, one thing the next. It's like live your fantasy.
Okay, we're sitting front row with Mara and Clee. They're both designed for Mara and Huffman. She's actually the owner and the creator. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the collection, the inspiration, the color palette, all about it. I thought it was amazing. So I'll let you start first, and then I'll let Clee.
Cool. Well, the inspiration for the show came from the idea of this like journey woman kind of traveling through different lands and deserts and collecting bits and pieces from different cultures and adding it to her own personal wardrobe. And it's kind of a utilitarian yet like sexy and alive collection. That was the inspiration.
I think we also try to design pieces that are timeless, that you might want to pull out of your closet, say, 5 years from now. And
Now, when I was watching the show, I noticed that, for example, there was one outfit. It looked like a wraparound. It was all black, but when she turned around, there were white markings on the back. And when I saw it, the first thing I thought was, wow, it kind of looked like, like maybe a back of a spine. What is that? What was the print? What was the inspiration between?
It's kind of like comes from a tribal influence, I would say, for that design. It's a little bit skeletal, but kind of tribal. It's like a loose interpretation. And, both Clea and I design all of the prints and textiles. So then, when we put them into the sweaters, we drew from different parts of the prints. So it all kind of connects to each other.
So, Clea, what type of fabrics did you enjoy incorporating in the collection?
we used a bunch of fabrics. We used silks, wools, the leather for the accessories, a bunch of different luxury fabrics.
And the color palette, predominantly black and what?
We used a lot of black and earth tones, but then we popped it with, jewel tones and like really beautiful turquoise, kind of like Native American turquoise, reds for more of like an African pull. Yeah.
And if you could define the person that would wear the clothing, who is, Mara Hoffman?
I think she really ranges from, a young kind of girl going out and wanting to look sexy to more of like an adult, sophisticated woman, up until whatever age. There's pieces that really range that. So to say it's one specific woman, I don't know if we can do that, but I think the trait that would go through is someone who, is confident and really wants to look strong and beautiful.
Are you guys going to do a men's line one of these days? Or?
Probably very soon.
We need more option for guys.
Yeah,
I'm pushing all these designers to do men's lines.
Yeah, in our sleep we'll do that.
Right. I'm sitting front row with Fern Malice, Senior Vice President of IMG Fashion. I got all that right?
You got it right.
So someone told me, and I wanted to verify with you, you came up with this whole concept of the tents. I've interviewed you a couple times before about what it's really like behind the stage, but I had no idea that it was your idea and your concept. I want you to, tell me a little bit about that.
It was an idea that was an industry's collective dream of American designers showing together in a way that could create the same platform that existed in Paris and Milan for the industry. And after an accident in 1991 at Michael Kors showroom, show space, it was all of a sudden a more immediate need to get something organized. And I had just started a job as director of the Council of Fashion Designers of America at CFDA, and that I said, I think my job description just changed. And that became a mission of ours to find a way to centralize, organize, and modernize the collections. And Bryant Park became the ideal, perfect location because there is no space without columns and low ceilings, and in the middle of Manhattan that's very close to the fashion district, so people can go back on off hours to go to the showrooms and do business. And it's very centralized by the public transportation behind the library, Grand Central, Times Square. It's all close by. Condé Nast is down the block, and the New York Times is around the corner, and so it all works here.
Now, when you first contacted everyone, or your team did, was it difficult to kind of get everyone to come together under the tents?
Yeah, it was difficult. Well, yes, designers are not the easiest people to corral and to get to do the same thing, but I think at the very beginning when we started this, they all understood that together it really makes a statement. And in the first several years of what was then called 7th on 6th, and has since been renamed IMG Fashion when IMG bought 7th on 6th in 2001, it was, it was Calvin and Ralph and Donna and everybody else, and Oscar and Bill and, Isaac and Todd and all the designers showing together. Ultimately, the big guns got bigger and bigger guns, and and started to find their own spaces so that they could spend all day working, producing, prepping. Here, clearly, we have to keep moving designers through the venues so that we could produce 60 to 70 to 80 shows in a given week. But this is the heartbeat now, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week of the New York Fashion Week.
And then how did you extend into Los Angeles and Miami?
When IMG bought us in 2001, we saw the opportunity to expand our operation, to use the expertise and professionalism of our team and our sponsors who are looking to leverage themselves as well in other markets. And so the first thing we added was Los Angeles, which has a very vital fashion community and apparel business. Miami, we customized our event there to celebrate the swimwear industry, which has its trade show at the same time. And then subsequently, we've also expanded where IMG Fashion is in Mumbai in India, and Moscow, and Sydney, and Berlin, and we're doing in Turkey shortly, and Kuala Lumpur, and so we're all over the world.
So Jocelyn, what do you think about the show? I thought it was amazing. What do you think?
I thought it was beautiful. It was my first fashion show where I come and I sit down and I get to enjoy a show. I thought it was beautiful. It was fabulous. So it was great.
Now, what advice would you give to all the aspiring people out there trying to follow in your footsteps being a model? I mean, you won the competition.
I mean, all I can say is believe in your dream, believe in whatever you want to do, because it is a tough industry and I've learned a lot. But it's not that easy. Just follow your dream. That's all I can say.
And what are your goals now? What are you going towards?
To be bigger and better and a better me every day.
Thank you so much for your time. We're here at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week with John Dempsey. He's the president of Estee Lauder and MAC. John, how are you doing today?
Fantastic.
So what shows have you enjoyed more than others, or what's your take thus far on Fashion Week?
Well, it's a great week. MAC is a presenting sponsor here of 7th on 6th, and we're here at the tents and just get excited to go see Zach Posen. We're doing sponsoring about 75 shows. MAC is backstage, both right here in the tents and all over New York this week, and it's good for New York City, it's good for fashion, and it's good for business.
What's the forecast for Fall '08 concerning colors?
But it's always makeup season, so it's seems to be a lot of versatile looks and a lot of makeup and a lot of skin and a lot of beautiful makeup and directional makeup, and the cycle begins here, and then from here we go to London, Milan, and Paris, and so it's the journey begins.
The last time we spoke about a charity that I think 100% of the profits went towards.
We're talking about MAC AIDS Fund and MAC Viva Glam.
Yes.
Yes.
How is that going?
Well, we actually launched the new Viva Glam campaign here, right here yesterday with our newest Viva Glam spokesperson, Fergie, and the fund has just brought out a new Viva Glam limited edition lip gloss that Fergie created, and we're looking to raise more money for HIV and AIDS around the world. So, and 100% of the selling price of these lipsticks and lip glosses go 100% to our charitable fund.
We're backstage with Christy Yamaguchi, Olympic gold medalist. We just got done watching the Lilette Lepore show. What do you think about the show?
Oh, I loved it. It was fun, and obviously a lot of beautiful clothes out there that I might have to look into for my wardrobe.
What are you wearing this evening?
I'm wearing Nanette, and it's a dress that I think is from her spring collection.
Wow, can we pan up and down on her so we can see the beautiful dress that she made? Yeah, it's really stunning. I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to people trying to follow in your footsteps? A lot of people admire what you did. You won a gold medal, and you're at the top of your game.
Well, I think if you have a dream, then you definitely have to set goals for yourself and work towards those. And my coach always told me there's not a secret to success, hard work, and just believing in yourself and persevering through the hard times.
Now, no one came after you and tried to break your knees or hurt your legs or anything crazy like that?
No, I was lucky. I kind of stayed in the safe zone and maybe was a little sheltered, but I got lucky.
Well, I congratulate you on all of your success, and I hope that you get more and more and more and more. And what are your plans for the future?
Well, I'm still involved with skating a little bit, hosting some shows, and doing a little bit here and there with TV. So just staying involved and being a mom of two.
I'm sitting here front row with Lee. Lee has such a massive history, I don't even know where to start. But first I wanted to ask you what you thought about the show, what you thought about the blonde fashion show.
Okay, I have no history with this kind of thing outside of watching 1930s movies with Norma Shearer and her cigarettes and stuff, watching the girls go by then. So it was like that. It was thrilling to me. It was great. I was on the front row, which was astounding, and seeing all these fabulous girls go by in incredible clothes. It was like a whole other world for me, because I'm used to rock and roll, which is much more slapdash. This was so precise and so on, and these girls were a hoot. When they all came on afterwards, I said to Chris, who I was sitting with, I said, "You mean those were all different girls?" Because they looked the same and they walked the same, exactly the same. They had the same tiny little waists. And it was an incredible experience. It was fabulous. I wish I'd been on acid. No, I don't.
Well, I guess next time we have to take some acid and then watch a show. So
no. Yes.
So your background is rock and roll. Tell me about your experience as a rock and roll photographer throughout the years and different experiences you've had.
Well, that would take years.
I guess you're right. Okay,
yeah.
pick out a favorite story. Let's talk about, why don't we talk about who you used to manage Sid Vicious, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, you want to talk about Sid?
Sure. I'm sure our viewers love.
Well, it's interesting. I just met someone who's from the very, very, very straight media tonight. I was introduced to her. She works for CBS. And so when she found out I was rock and roll, she wanted to know who were my favorite people to work with, expecting me to say, like, Mick Jagger, John Lennon, things like that. And I said, Sid Vicious. And you could see her face kind of go like, and she, she took kind of a little step backwards a bit, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be talking to this person. Wow. Wrong. Sid was fabulous. He was so easy to work with. He was like a little boy. He'd do anything you wanted him to do. He was great to take on the road. He behaved himself. A lot of them don't. A lot of them, in my job as a rock and roll photographer, I was very often very much like the director, like the road manager. And so to keep them in one place, to keep them where they had to be, it's very hard with rock and roll people. That's why I was impressed with this show, because I could see backstage, I could see Mauricio directing them, and it was like on, and they were on.
Right.
When it was on with me, it was like, please go on. Now.
You had to kick him in the butt.
Or go find them, because they'd wander off. They'd be downstairs. They'd be smoking a joint. They'd be somewhere else doing all kinds of things. When the show was going on and there was an audience there, it's different that way, but the way it's the same is once they're on the stage, that moment. Just these girls did it too, and I noticed it. Mm-hmm. They were standing backstage. They looked like they were just standing backstage. The minute they hit that spot there, they became,
right.
That's why they all looked like the same girl, because they all became the same girl. And they went, and they did their number, and they did it, and they were back, and I would presume when they got off, they were off again.
Right.
It's the same thing with Johnny Thunders. Stoned, crazy, throwing up. Please get on stage, please get on stage. The minute you got him on stage, he was Johnny Thunders, and he was perfect, and he was fabulous, and he hit every note. He did his show brilliantly, then he came off, collapsed again.
Wow.
And that's it. So it's all show business. I expect when the Queen and the President and all those people make their appearances, it's the same thing. The minute the lights are on them, they switch on. Yeah, and so, that's what it's like.
So with this new generation, it seems like with the technology, with the internet, everyone is trying to get involved in music. There's a tremendous amount of people trying to follow in the success, the footsteps of rock and roll stars and trying to create their own music, whether it's rock and roll or rap or alternative, whatever it may be. Now, you've managed extremely successful bands. You've worked with extremely successful people in your life. What advice would you give to those people starting out now or trying to, get involved in that type of industry as a professional manager?
Well, first of all, the industry is totally different now. So I couldn't give them practical advice about where to go to get their stuff heard or any of that kind of stuff. But I can give them one real important bit of advice, which is universal for everything. Just don't stop. Sometimes it happens too soon. And then you're not prepared. Sometimes it takes a long time. But if you want to do it, it's the main trick. Just don't stop, because if you don't stop, then you will. You'll do it.
Right.
It'll happen. It'll happen next week, next year, 10 years from now.
You keep knocking, someone's going to eventually open that door.
Yeah, sure, because you'll be the only one left standing. And then when it's your time, you better be ready.
Levin, we're here on the runway of the Laporte show. It just ended. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was really, really sophisticated, and it was really well suited for winter. There's a lot of heavier fabrics, and there's a great mix of sparkle and more muted fabrics. And I love the tweed, and I love the headbands and the mix of color. There's a lot of magenta and black and pearls. So.
And what are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing a net. I'm wearing a custom piece from Spring.
Can we pan up and down so we can see it? It's stunning.
Really
she does an amazing job, doesn't she?
Yeah, she didn't make this actually for retail. It was she just gave it to me straight off the runway. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to personally?
I've been filming all my children every day and doing Lipstick Jungle as well, which premieres tomorrow.
Now, does that film
films here in New
The
York.
film's here. All My Children's here, not
Yes.
LA. And the same for Lipstick Jungle. Wow. So what experiences did you have with the Lipstick Jungle, which premieres tomorrow on what network?
On NBC. I got to work with Brooke Shields and Lindsay Price and Kim Raver, and we had great fashion throughout the whole shoot. And I got to play a crazy actress type, like drunk girl. So it was like really fun. I got to improvise most of my things.
We're backstage with Mandy Moore. How are you doing today?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, good. You look like enticed. I just asked you a question before we started the interview, and you're like, "Well, I wonder why she's asking me that."
It's interesting.
All right, so where are you from?
I'm from Longwood, Florida.
I'm from Altamont. I went to Lake Brantley.
You are? I
Yeah.
took French class early at Lake Brantley, but like when
Really?
I was in middle school.
I went to
yes.
Forest City, Teague, and Brantley.
See, I went to Park Maitland, and I
You
went
go
to Rock Lake.
I went to Rock Lake.
You did?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then I went to Bishop Moore for like a year. Yeah.
Ah. So what do you think about the collection so far?
That's an interesting segue.
Okay, well, let's keep talking about our
No, no,
hometown.
no.
What year did you graduate high school?
I thought the collection was beautiful. I mean, I keep saying it, but I really mean it. I think Tia has just an impeccable eye, and the collection was really, really exquisite. And there were so many pieces that, like, mentally I was sort of making a checklist as they went down the runway. But, I mean, it's sort of classic and a bit of a twist, but it's still feminine and comfortable and very wearable, very accessible. So often I think you see stuff like come down a runway and you're like, I could never, ever imagine myself wearing that. But it's definitely not the case with Ports.
I'm here backstage with Mary Alice Stevenson. How are you doing?
Rocco, how are you?
I'm good. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you so
Are
much.
you single? Can we hang out some? Okay, I'll
you
stop hitting
straight?
on you. As a matter of
No one
fact.
in fashion is. How do you like the shows? What have you been thinking of the shows so
Yeah,
far?
I've seen a lot of black. I've seen a lot of sexy. I've liked them. I like them a lot, actually.
It's a really exciting week in fashion. There's a lot of really talented young designers showing, like from Eco Domani Fashion Foundation, designers like Alexander Wang and Jose Ramon Reyes, and then Proenza Schooler did an incredible job. Rodarte, fantastic. So it's been a tremendous, tremendous week. Even old guard like Carolina Herrera, I loved her show. So I really feel like there's two kind of a little bit misses, but I think sometimes when both with for me, both with Halston and with Hervé Leger, and when brands like redefine themselves, that always takes a little bit of time. And there was a lot of buzz for both those shows, and so I think when there's a lot of buzz, you have to step it up. And those shows were not as strong as I thought they'd be, but still looking forward to the future and seeing what they create. So it's really exciting right now.
Now, when I turned the TV on, I saw you on TV. You're working on a program. Tell me about that.
I do a lot of television, but I did. I was the host of America's Most Smartest Model. Don't tell
How was
anyone.
that? I think everyone saw it.
I know, it was crazy. It was a great experience. I think I came across much meaner than I really am.
It's the way they cut it. She's a very nice person.
They made
she's
me
adorable.
totally like Devil Wears Prada. So it was it
Was
was
it
kind
Alice
of
Wears
fun to
Prada?
see myself as a fashion bitch, because I really am not. But I think a lot of those kids, we weren't looking for the next Giselle. We were just looking for smart kids that model in any way. So it was an interesting experience. Very, very fun. VH1's really cool. So I hope it goes again.
Are you guys going to go again? Or?
We don't know yet. I hope so.
And what other things are you working on?
Well, I'm a contributing fashion editor for Harper's Bazaar, and I do a lot of consulting and styling and a lot of TV. So, I mix it all up.
So
working hard for my money.
Your forecast for fall 08.
My forecast for fall 08, a lot of masculine energy for fall clothes. Ladies, get out your menswear and mix it up with all of the super feminine and embellished clothes that you already have in your closet. So, still super feminine. The color, a lot of jewel tones, a lot of, burnt oranges, burnt yellows, emeralds. So very exciting time in fashion right now. A lot going on, a lot to wear for fall.
So we're here front row with Nikki Teller. Actually, I'm from Florida. I know that you're from Florida, and it's very odd. We're two Floridians here.
Yes,
right?
it's a very small world. We've been this whole week. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm from Plantation. I'm from Coral Springs. I'm so
Right,
small."
it is,
The more and
it is.
more we get out.
What are your thoughts so far on Fashion Week?
Fashion Week. Well, I brought my show to Fashion Week. I brought Make Me a Supermodel with Bravo. I brought the kids. I feel like they're my kids. I feel like mom. I have 12 contestants. I've got 6 guys, 6 girls. Are we down to 12? Am I allowed to say that?
You have a group
what
of
day is
contestants that
it?
compete
Yeah,
against each
where
other.
am I? What day is it? So that's here. This is actually our 3rd show today.
Wow.
Yep. And I like being on this side of it.
Really? You don't miss
Yeah.
walking down the runway?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Really?
No,
It is
it's
fun to be in
nice
front of the camera. I agree with you.
Yeah, sometimes.
Now, the first show I modeled back a long time ago, and the first show I did it was in Speedo underwear, and I was 17 years old in Milan, and I was petrified.
Mortified.
Oh God, I was.
Yeah, you want me to wear what?
Yeah,
This?
exactly.
Yeah.
So, what, do you have any experiences like that you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, we actually just put these kids in bathing suits. That was their actually first runway show, and 2 of them had to pick G-string. Actually, 2 of the guys picked G-strings, and Shannon actually was the sport, and she chose to wear the G-string. I don't think I would be comfortable modeling G-strings on a runway.
I wouldn't either.
No. Just, but your question was.
If you had
I
any
forgot.
memorable experiences when you first started modeling, or what was like the most embarrassing moment?
I think the most embarrassing part was my first show was Terry Mugler, and I was in shoes that were really slippery. We didn't scratch the bottoms, and it was a carpet like this, and I came out and I was like, split.
You did a surf technique.
Yeah, I caught it though, and next time I was like, yeah, we have to scratch the shoes. At 15. What did I know? But shoes were always a problem for me because I have smaller feet than my height. So I'm clumsy just naturally.
Backstage with Nicole and Natalie from Nina's, I want you to tell me what your thoughts were about the Tracy Reese show.
We enjoyed it a lot. We loved how she mixed the textures. See how the sequins with the flowers and the animal print. We thought that was pretty dope. It was really, really
And
nice.
the hats were cool. A lot of the girls had hats on. The hats were pretty cool.
Now tell me about the musical. See, a little birdie told me on my shoulder when I was watching, this musical, the CD, the album.
The
tell me what's
musical,
gonna drop.
the album, we just recently signed to Polygon's J Records. We've been working on an album for a while, and it's slated to come out in the fall, so we're really excited about it.
I'm standing here in front of the house with Patrick McDonald, the dandy of New York. How are you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So what are your thoughts so far on Fashion Week this season, Fall 08?
There's some exciting shows. Sass and Bide, I loved. Vera Wang was beautiful. The Blondes, over the top.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of Terry Mugler, amazing corsetry and the clothes. It was my favorite, really, of the week. Men, Ducky Brown, loved the little aubergine suit and the skinny pants. And I like that they didn't have music because you could concentrate on the beautiful clothes. And it's been a fun week. I see a trend of long skirts for women and little splashes of color and abstract prints, which I love.
So what's your forecast for Fall 08 for all of our viewers? What tips would you give us?
Well, being that there's abstract prints, treat yourself as a canvas and let the color play with color. That's my tip. Mix it with color. Beautiful aubergines, vibrant blues, burgundies, forest greens, and mix it all together.
Thank you so much. You look stunning yourself. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing Paul Smith.
I was walking by and I saw you on your Mac laptop. I thought it was kind of cool. I have a Mac too. In any case, and I thought, wow, from Coffee Bean to now, the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. And I walked up and I'm like, hey, I want to talk to Perez. And they were like, well, we're paying Perez all day to come here and promote Mac. So let's first, what do you think about Mac, Perez?
I love Mac.
Hey, I love Mac too. Okay, now that we're done pushing Mac, now I wanted to ask you.
I do love them.
Yeah, they are cool. They gave me free makeup to wear. I have a little makeup, yeah. Anyways, I wanted to ask you, what's your thoughts so far? How about that's a general question?
It's good to be back in New York. I've only seen one show, and I think I'm only seeing one show. And I'm back to LA tomorrow.
Really? I go back on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
On the 14th.
You're here for a while.
You have a date?
I'm going to be out of the country.
Oh.
In London. I'm very excited about that.
London. You should try the Flakes candy.
Okay, I have had it.
It's very good.
Not bad.
Okay, now what about I'll ask you a serious question. People that are aspiring to do what you did, you went from blog to VH1, blah, 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 blah. What advice would you give to those people that are trying to follow in your footsteps? Because you have a very, very unique persona, very unique trademark per se.
I'd say the best advice really is just to work hard. I work harder than anyone I know. I'm always working, but that's okay. That's not a complaint. That's I'm bragging because I love to work. I'm not bragging, but it's like a thing I'm very proud of. I love that I'm always working because I love what I do, and I feel really lucky to be able to do it.
What is your inspiration this season?
My inspiration is based on the movie Metropolis. It's a 1927 film by Fritz Lang. So it's sort of this Art Deco black and white movie that's about this city that's fueled by human energy. and they capture this young girl and turn her into a robot, and she becomes the heart machine. Her love basically fuels the city. And so I became really fascinated with the concept of, taking something pure and beautiful, transforming it into a sort of a mechanical machine, and then reusing it and making it into something beautiful again. So a lot of the lines and the architecture of the collection resonates the Art Deco sort of feel of the film, as well as sort of the elements of the very feminine and the very robotic.
What color palette did you utilize?
Well, the movie's black and white, so a lot of black and gray. Yeah, black and gray. So, but studying the different posters and backdrops and things that I found, I used a lot of copper because the robot was built in copper, and subsequently used green because when copper ages, it turns into green, and orange because that's my intense hue for this collection because it resonates again from that sort of copper feel. So it's sort of green, orange, gray, black.
Define the person that would wear the clothes. What type of person would wear your clothing?
A confident one.
All right, we're backstage with one of the designers from Sass & Bide. Her name is Sarah Jane. The collection was amazing. I want you to tell me all about it.
Oh, well, thank you. We were really quite emotionally attached to this collection because it was in honor of a very good friend of Heidi's. And this collection was really meant to be very fun, wearable party pieces where you can wear them in the day, you can wear them to work, you could wear them out at night. And it was there was this rainbow theme that we sprinkled through the whole collection, and that's hence why it's quite bright.
So you used all different types of colors from the color palette. What type of fabrics?
Well, we used a bit of taffeta plaid, and black bubble taffeta skirts, and cotton, silks. We try to use natural fibers.
And if you could define the Sass & Bide woman, who is that?
Well, definitely the Sass & Bide woman is quirky, she's unique, she doesn't want to look like the same person. She, we love nothing better than when a girl gets one of our pieces and mixes it back with her vintage and makes it her own, her individual look. So, yeah, and she's fun, she doesn't take it too seriously.
We're backstage with Tia and her nephew and niece, right?
Yes, my little treasures, my real treasures. Not my collection, but my niece and nephew, Freddie and Isabella.
Are you proud of your aunt? What about you?
Yeah.
Has she made you clothes yet? Did she make you the cookie?
Nope. No, I didn't make the cookie, but we did make that sweater, didn't we? And we did make that coat too. Yeah.
That's really cute. So are you a little nervous? The show's about to start. You're getting all the models ready. Everyone's running around like working bees. Tell me about that.
I feel really good today. I don't feel nervous. I feel very confident. I'm very comfortable. So everything is falling into place. There are no hiccups in preparation for this show. And so I feel I'm in a good place.
And where are you bringing this season with your collection?
This season we're on another journey to another place, and this time we're in Scotland. We're under the spell of a Scottish winter. It's very dark and moody, very rich with enchantment, mysticism, and magic and fairy tales. But the clothes are actually quite real. The romance and the fantasy is more so in the accessories, in the bags, the shoes, the little details, the head pieces, the hats, keeping the clothes very real, just to say that a reality with some sense of fantasy.
Now, what about the color palette and the fabrics?
Well, I wanted to keep fabrics extremely matte or extremely shiny, but not with lurex, not a reflective shine. So we have silk satin as a key fabric, a core fabric in the more evening wear, tuxedo, taffeta, and then really tough wools, Shetland wools and rustic tweeds. And then the colors are dark and moody really throughout the collection, but with jewel tones, hits of intense shades in the green, the red, and the most important color is really the blue for us, the indigo.
Now, if you could define the brand, Port's 1961, the brand, the woman, the image, who is that woman?
She is global, she's eclectic, but she's urban. She could be any age and she could be from anywhere. What she loves is to dress herself in romance, but with some kind of reality to it. It's not about being in costume. It's about living a real lifestyle and wearing something that has a treasure, a detail, an interest and but being practical, but not compromising romance. So.
So much inspiration, everything.
Wow, that's a big story. You know, we're inspired by nature this season. Everything elemental in nature and everything beautiful and vibrant. So there's a lot of color. There's a lot of pattern. There's a lot of volume actually, but it's controlled volume because we want to bring back a woman's body. So, you know, we're focusing in on the waist, bringing that in and keeping the volume below. But it's very easy and very relaxed. All of these are real clothes that real people can wear. So some of my favorite colors are here. All of the rose tones and rhododendrons and azaleas and beautiful grass greens and persimmon and azure. So I'm ready to wear color and I'm happy to show color, yeah.
All right, we're backstage at the Tracy Reese Show with the producer, lead actress star extraordinaire, right?
Yeah.
And director and producer of Push, a new program. I want you guys to tell me all about it. First, I'll ask you.
Well, Push is an amazing movie we're doing based on a best-selling novel by Sapphire. And it's really an important story about literacy and about a young 16-year-old girl who learns to read. And Gabby is our star.
Oh, so how did you enjoy doing the film?
I loved every moment of it. Like, I'm a brand new actress, you know, and so it's a brand new experience for me, and it was wonderful. It really was.
And then your involvement in...
I'm the director of the film, and it came to me. It came to me in my spirit. It just came floating from the clouds. And it was one of those movies that I just had to do, that just sort of, you know, it stuck to me. And sort of like Monsters Ball was my first film, and it came to me, and I just had to do it. I was obsessed with it, and it was the same sort of with this. I had to do it. It's an inspirational story. It's a story about triumph.
Now, do we have a release date yet? Is there a website people can go to?
Yeah, yes, you can go to LeeDanielsEntertainment.com. I don't know. And then which? And then
For now, that's, you know, we just finished, we wrapped up filming. We still have editing to do, so it's going to be a little while, but there'll be more information. We just had a New York Times article done on the film and Gabby, and I think that there'll be a lot more to follow, but right now, you know, we're still in the middle of production. Lee is very busy with editing, so.
And we're getting ready to, with she and I, for our first film that we merged together to do Tennessee, which stars Mariah Carey. And Lenny Kravitz is in her. Lenny Kravitz plays her. Monique is in the movie.
is in Push.
Group of wonderful actors that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we're backstage at the Ports 1961 show. All these paparazzis, everyone's going crazy.
I know, it's a lot.
So let me first ask you what you're wearing, because you look stunning.
I am wearing Ports.
Oh, can we pan up and down?
A lot of bling from the nice people at Jacob. They were very sweet to lend me some jewels for the week. But at the end of the week, I'm like Cinderella, and I turn into a pumpkin, and I have to give them back.
No, look, you guys have to let her keep it. Let her keep that stuff, guys.
It's okay. I'd be nervous. I mean, they're so beautiful, but I'm terrified every second that they're in my ears.
Well, you're more beautiful than them. Making you blush.
Thanks to the impeccable stitch work of everyone at Ports, I'm all done up for the night.
So what have you been up to?
I've just been doing a show here and a show there, and spent some time with some of my best friends who are in the city. Rooted for the Giants last night.
Yeah, they won.
My
I was
mom's
surprised.
in New York. It was amazing. I turned into a fraternity boy, jumping on the couch, screaming, yelling.
go.
We opened all the windows
drink
at my best
beer?
friend's apartment, and we're screaming at the street with everybody, and it was amazing. It was just such a moment, you know, and one that I was so happy for New York to have.
I agree with you. They were the underdog and they won.
And you always root for the underdog. You know, they played great football, and I think that everybody really saw. Everyone always wants to compare Eli to Peyton,
right?
And we all saw that Manning gene in Peyton last night. 39 seconds to go and a touchdown. It was like he zoned in. He let the pressure roll off his back finally, because I think it's got to be unnerving for a guy who's a young quarterback to be in a game like that. It's a huge deal.
You know what's funny is you know more about football than I do.
You know, I'm getting sidetracked, but just for New York to have that win was amazing, and I'm so happy.
And what are your thoughts so far on Fashion Week?
Fashion Week's been wonderful. Max Azria did 2 stunning shows that I saw. He did the BCBG runway on Friday, and I went to Hervé Leger yesterday, and they're just exquisite. He's the man, and now to be at Ports, these guys really topped my list for fashion favorites. So I'm really thrilled to see what's going to be coming down the runway.
Do you have any projects that you're working on that you can share with our viewers, or anything that you're not supposed to tell us, but you can tell us anyways?
At the moment, we're all just waiting for the strike to end, but season 5 of One Tree Hill is well underway, airing every Tuesday night. And I actually got to live in New York over the summer shooting an independent film here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. A movie called The Narrows that just finished post-production. So I'm really excited for that to get out and for everyone to see it.
So Tina, we're here front row at the Joanna Mastroianni Show. Let me first ask you what you thought about the show.
Oh, it's beautiful. Very beautiful.
She's very talented, the fabrics and the details.
I love the gold dress. I could wear that for the Academy party.
We have to ask her to send that to you.
I hope so.
I'll ask her for you.
Okay, that'll be great.
What are you wearing this evening?
Well, this is just a little number that I was in the mood for, this little leopard. I thought it'd be sort of fun. You mean who designed it?
Yes. It's okay if you don't.
I'm quite sure. You know,
well,
I really
it's fabulous anyway.
I don't really look at my labels. I just, I'm in the mood for this. I almost was going to wear a Dion von Furstenberg, but then I thought, I don't know, I'll have a little color. It's warm, I'm always freezing. And I thought, well, I won't wear black. I wear so much black,
So how's everything going with the book, right? The book is...
Yeah, it's just really great. This morning I was at St. Bernard's, a little boys' school uptown on 98th Street between 5th and Mad. And I did my interactive thing that I do with the children. There were about 42 little boys, first graders, and I was empowering them with who they want to be when they grow up. And started off and saying, if a spider can build a beautiful web when I grow up, I can be an architect. And one little boy said, well, what's that? And I said, well, you can build museums, gardens, buildings, parks, everything. Oh, the hands went up. So then I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I say, okay, let's applaud the future architects, and I get everybody to applaud them. So with each thing that's in the book, each profession, then of course more hands would go up because they love the applause. Then they want to be everything.
And they don't want to.
So, and then I'm back just a week from St. Croix. Have you ever been to St. Croix?
No, not yet.
Oh.
You want to take me? I'm joking. No, I haven't been.
So beautiful, so beautiful. There's this lovely charity, and the women's charity invited me there, and I visited 3 public schools and 2 private schools and a book signing. And it was a marvelous, marvelous week, and all the kids were just wanting to be everything.
Now, is there a website that our viewers could go to get more information on the charity, more information on the book?
Well, the book is published by Harry Abrams, and so certainly they can go online and find out more about When I Grow Up.
And that's the title, When I Grow Up, and it's written by you.
Yes.
Excellent. And I wanted to ask you a question about, of course, everyone knows that you are on Gilligan's Island. Is there anything that was crazy that happened or embarrassing or anything that was happening while you were taping that, or something that you could share with us and share with our viewers? Just anything at all.
Well, it was just really a lot of fun, I just knew how I wanted to play the character, and I just always had a lot of fun.
Here backstage at the Mercedes-Benz Star Lounge with the one and only Patricia Fields, right?
You got it.
So I wanted to ask you about everything that's going on with Sex and the City, and start there, and I have a lot of other questions, but we'll start with that one.
What's the question?
The question is, which character would you feel that you relate more to personally? Because a lot of people know what you do, but I don't think a lot of people know that you're so spunky. And I've been sitting back there watching you interviewing with all these different people. I was like, wow, she has some spunk. What a personality. It's positive.
There you go.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
Doing a very good job at it.
Thank you.
So which character would you relate to?
I don't relate to any of them. I relate to all of them in part. But if you say, do I relate, am I this one or am I that one, character-wise, they're all my girls.
Now, concerning fashion, with the trends that are going on now, how did that influence the styling of the show?
I don't think with the trends that are going on now, it had very little influence in the styling of the show.
Okay.
These are characters. It's not Kmart or Bergdorf Goodman or whatever. It's a show. And so I don't think so, because what's going on now is I feel it's a different kind of a feeling than these girls. And these are characters. Just because it's 5 years later, they don't now wear whatever.
And what advice would you give to people out there that are trying to follow in your footsteps?
Love what you do.
Hmm.